The Martin Luther King family has reacted to Trump's executive order, and as has the JFK family. They both say this is a political stunt. I don't know how it's a political stunt. It was supposed to come out in 2027. No, it was supposed to come out when? In the teens, the 20 teens, and then it kept being delayed. Then Donald Trump delayed it last term. Joe Biden, he might have thought he was JFK for a while. I'm not really sure, or Martin Luther King. And then it's come up again, and people are tired of secrets. And so Donald Trump said he would start releasing some of the secrets that should be released. And a few of those are the RFK files, the JFK files, and the MLK files. So what do they say? Ooh. Well, the Martin Luther King family, they'd like to see everything first. Well, I don't know if you get that privilege, but okay. Why? Ooh. Do you happen to remember what was said about these files last time? Last time they were about to come out, the guy who is the Martin Luther King authorized biographer has come out and said really bad things are in this file. We all know that he was a philanderer. And, you know, I have to tell you, as I get older, I have more tolerance for people who did amazing things because perfect people aren't the ones that usually stand up and say, I'm going to risk my life for that cause. Perfect people are usually the ones that are like, no, I've got way too much to lose here. Martin Luther King was not the first guy that was approached to lead this movement, just like Rosa Parks wasn't the first one on the bus. The first one was too flawed. She was a teenager that was pregnant, and they didn't think that she would garner enough sympathy. The other pastors that were approached to lead this movement all said, I got way too much to lose. No. They knew what it meant. Martin Luther King was the first one that stood up. And I think the same can be said for Donald Trump. He's not a perfect guy, but he's the first one that would say, yeah, I'll risk my life for it. I'll do it. I'll stand. I mean, who else gets up from an assassination and looks at the crowd and says, fight? That's pretty amazing. So they're not perfect people. But Martin Luther King, we know he was unfaithful, but apparently what is in this file is really not good.
Yeah, that's one way to state it. Mm-hmm.
First, it looks like there's an FBI letter that was trying to blackmail Martin Luther King. So something bad on the government, trying to blackmail him and say, basically kill yourself or this is coming out. But then there is information on intimate relationships with at least 3 women, one in Atlanta, one in Mount Vernon, one in New York, one in Washington, D.C. Another memo refers to a recording where King looked on, this is according to his biographer, where King, quoting, looked on and laughed as the pastor of Baltimore's Cornerstone Baptist Church allegedly raped a woman in the Willard Hotel. Now, that pastor died in 1991, so there's no way to verify the FBI's information. It's not clear whether the agents involved were transcribing the true reality of his private life or creating gossip. We don't know. But
and they did,
we'll see.
Obviously, try to hurt him and his reputation. That's kind of known and has been known for a long time. The question is this stuff true? I mean, as you point out, the guy who came out with this information in 2019, I think it was, is a very reputable guy, again, Pulitzer Prize winning biographer, right?
Right, and authorized by the King family. So this is the guy who the King family has said is credible.
Yeah, and it's hard to believe this lands in any other place than them saying, well, the government did this. And, they're going to deny it, I think.
Right. It does a tape exist. The letter is 500 words, claims to be from an African-American who supported the civil rights movement. It was, however, we know, written by the FBI. It accuses King of immoral conduct lower than that of a beast, I'm quoting, and a giant liability to all of us Negroes, quoting.
I figured that one was a quote, Glenn.
Yeah,
you didn't have to tell us that that wasn't you.
I wanted to make sure. It encourages,
unless I don't know something about your background. I don't know.
It encourages King to listen to an endorsed and enclosed tape. So we don't know if the tape exists. The writer tells King it's all there on the record. Your sexual orgies. Listen to yourself, you filthy, abnormal animal. You are on record. You have been on record. All of your adulterous acts, your sexual orgies extending far into the past. But this one is but a tiny sample. You have 34 days in which to do ... There is only one way out for you. You better take it before your filthy, abnormal, fraudulent self is bared to the nation. So, I mean, it's not going to make the FBI look good, and it may not make Martin Luther King look good.
The other one, too, Glenn, you mentioned the affairs, which are well known, right?
Yeah.
The biographer says, it's been well known for 35 to 40 years that there have been multiple other girlfriends. I always thought that there were probably 10 or 12 over the course of 4 to 5 years. This new material makes clear that the total is more like 40 to 45.
Wow.
I mean, that's getting a lot of work done there. That's you're a busy bee.
Yeah.
40 to 45 plus the civil rights stuff. Wow,
that's a lot.
It's a busy schedule.
When do you have time to eat?
Right.
Yeah. The 32-year-old grandson of JFK made an announcement yesterday about JFK's assassination file being opened. He said that this is nothing more than a grand scheme. Let's see here.
Grand scheme.
Yeah, he said there is no grand scheme to kill the president, JFK. And this scheme is just being a political prop, using John F. Kennedy as a political prop for Trump.
How? Why?
I don't know.
It's hard
I
to
have no idea.
Hard to even understand the lot. I mean, look, why would you not want to know this? What year is this? It's 2025.
Yeah.
This happened a long time ago.
Right.
It's about time we know what actually went on there.
Yes.
And look, there's going to be, I'm sure, some bad things. Some things that probably look good for these guys, and some that look bad. But
who cares?
Who cares? Like, they're historical figures.
Just want the true history. That's all I want.
Costner's already done a movie about it. It's time to find out what's going on.
Right. And I mean, if you want the country to survive, you have to be transparent. I want to know all of the things, even if everybody is pardoned. I want to know who is involved in the January 6th thing. I want to know all the facts.
Sure.
Even if we can't put anybody in jail. I want to know all of the facts on the Russia thing, on the Joe Biden. We have to expose these things.
I want to know who hid and how they hid Joe Biden's mental decline from the American people.
Big time.
I want to know that. I want an investigation on that.
Those people should go to jail because I don't think they've been pardoned.
No, that's true. Exactly. It needs to be investigated. We need to know how far that went.
Yeah.
Is this why? This is one of the reasons it feels like to me, hearing you over the years, that you put together the museum.
Yes.
Right. To unearth stuff like this, even if good or bad.
Yes.
Either way.
Right.
The American people deserve to know the truth.
Hello. You have to know the truth, and especially the dark side of ourselves. Otherwise, there's bitter and sweet. I mean, I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about AI, and AI is offering us a perfect world. Okay, that's what this is going to be, a perfect life. The Garden of Eden, it already existed. Okay, and we gave it up for knowledge of good and evil. There is opposites to everything: good, evil, pleasure, pain, all of that. And you have to have both sides. Otherwise, you don't know really what you have. So right now, Americans haven't seen a lot of pain in our lives. I mean, whatever you're going through might seem like a lot of pain, but as a country, nothing like the Great Depression, nothing like World War II. We haven't experienced that. So we don't really appreciate what we have. We have to know both sides. And, when it comes to Martin Luther King, that's a holiday. We took away the Abraham Lincoln holiday and the George Washington holiday to make it a combined holiday for presidents. Which presidents? And then gave Martin Luther King his holiday. Okay, was that right? Was that a mistake? I don't know. Let's just know who we're holding up here. And that doesn't mean that his ideas of America, live up to your promise, isn't important. It's probably more important now than ever before. Because the people who have been oppressed in the past are being convinced that you're still oppressed. And now the only way to not be oppressed is to take Martin Luther King's message and flip it upside on its head and say, you've got to be a racist to be an anti-racist. The only way to fix racism is to engage in racism. These are important conversations for us to have. And I, for one, applaud the president for doing this. And I think we should get all of it. Absolutely all of it. And I hope it doesn't stop here.